Good morning and welcome to my live stream. It's Friday the 13th. Wow, that's an unlucky day, I guess. Friday the 13th. I want to give a warm welcome to my new listeners and to my returning listeners. We are here to fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. Now, I had trouble again with my computer, my son's computer. So I pulled up my old computer, and guess what? I'm able to get on. Anyway, I'm on here 7 days a week, twice a day. I'm on in the evenings at 7 p.m. and then again at um, um, 10 a.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. on the weekends. They're 1 hour live stream and they're our Pacific Coast time. It's the West Coast in California. I'm on YouTube using the StreamYard application. Here. And it's a warm welcome. It really is. Now, there are many things that you can do on this live stream. It's an interactive live stream, meaning that you can do things like text me messages, do emojis, call in, be a guest. There's lots of things that you can do because it's interactive. What's really important that you all express your concerns. And good morning, Maury Flowers. Hi, I have no idea what part of the world you're from, but if you can tell me where you're from, that would be great. I'm going to put up something here about text and messages. If you want to text a message, please make it in form of a comment or a question, and it should pertain to the child protection system, is what I call CPS. Please state your first name, your city or your county, and your state. And if you're from another country than the U.S., please put your country down. Yes, I do have people from around the world. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from beginning to where you're at. There are 23 countries that participate. One, of course, is the United States. But the other 22 countries are Bangladesh, Indonesia, India, Saudi Arabia, Libya, and then over to Africa, Liberia, Sudan, and then Republic of Congo, and then Rwanda, and then Mozambique, and then South Africa. Then up to Europe, it's the United Kingdom and Denmark and Sweden. And then across the pond, North America, it's Canada, and of course the United States. All 50 states have talked here, including Washington, D.C. Then south of the border, Mexico. Then down in South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast, the Grenada. Then across the South Pacific, New Zealand, and then the land down under, Australia. So it's well diverse of approximately over 2,000 people I've either talked to or text to. Okay, you're from Kansas. Are you from Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas? That would be helpful there. And what is your question, or what would you like me to talk to you about, or how can I help you? Um, I'm so glad. I know it's hard. I'm in a battle with CPS. Okay, you're from Garden City, Kansas. It's too much to explain on here. Needing help fighting a broken system. I know, it's so hard. These women are not professionals. Um, are you talking about the CPS workers? Now, if you want, Maury, um, I can have you call in and you can talk on the show and either tell a story or ask a question. I have a phone number here. I'm going to put it up right now so that all of you can call in if you want to. My number is live at 626 698. Good morning, Megan, and how are you? Okay, it's afternoon your time. I forgot it is there. What's the latest? I understand yesterday that you're supposed to talk to Vincent Davis, I believe, at 7 o'clock his time. But your message came in at 9:53, which is which was your time. But I don't understand. Um, I wish you'd call me at 7:30 because by the time
I was at a civic. I mean, I was at a a conference. I was at a what do you call it? Department of Corrections
seminar.
Yeah, it was like $100 a ticket, and I was invited because
well, I didn't know that you made.
that I'm a part
I
of.
didn't know you made an appointment at 7 a.m. If you had a seminar to go to, you should have made the appointment at a different time.
No, that was 7 a.m. That was days before the day that I talked to you.
Right, that day you did, but you left me a message at 9:53. I thought it was just. I'm confused because let me go read your messages.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I never got back a hold of him. I left a message, and the lady at the office told me that she left him a message and that she would have him call me when he came, and I never heard back from him. That's why I didn't know what had happened. Because like I don't want to call if he's in court. I don't know how his schedule and California time is really confusing to me.
Right. Well, it's the West Coast. I think we all have that problem. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I had a Department of Corrections. We're trying to change the Department of Corrections and the police accountability, and also home. I'm fighting for a bill that did not pass in Congress, but in the city of Wilmington, the state of Delaware has never had, well, not never, they have had one law that was not passed in Congress back 30 years ago that went up for a referendum, and this is 30 years later, and they put our law up for a referendum because it did not pass, and so that made history. So I got a picture with the governor yesterday, and I video recorded him, asking him about rent stabilization and what his opinions were, and yeah.
Right.
Because here, there's no rent protection. The landlords can go and say, in 60 days, your rent's going up by 50%. Rent is already $13.50 for this small little house that I'm in, apartment house that I'm in. It's $13.50, and by law, we have no renters protection right now. So if the landlord wants to go up and increase the rent, they can do that within, as long as they give you 60 days written notice. And you either have to pay it or you have to get out. And if you have nowhere to go, you become homeless. And then DFS wants to take your kids,
Yeah. Well, how can we get you back on track to have that time with Vincent Davis? What you need to do is you need to contact Grace. She's the one that handles all his scheduling. And
okay, let me
that is Grace.
What is her email? Do you have a number or email for her?
Her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. Yeah.
Okay. So email her again and let her know, because that's the time the lady gave me was 7 a.m. The next morning after we had spoke.
Okay.
At night. And then she said he wasn't in, and that she left him a message. And then I called back that afternoon, and she told me that he still hadn't answered, and that when when he came in, she would have him call me. So that was the last that I heard about it.
Okay.
And the conversation that he was going to have with you after he spoke with me was based on like the purging the cases thing. I think he was talking about.
Well, okay, the purging. You see, this was
you said
the
that's
thing
so
was the
fine.
confusing. As a minor, as a youth, you should not have your record with CPS involvement, because as an adult, it'll come to haunt you.
Yeah, no.
And that's what I was trying to say, because you know, all the problems you seem to have, and it seems to dwell on that.
Yeah, I've been in this circle since I got pregnant, like since I had my son. You know, it's like I never thought that I would have to deal with DFS. You know,
Yeah.
like growing up, because like I didn't even have my child until I was 36. You know what I mean? So I didn't even think that I would have anything to do with them in my life, you know. And when the hospital asked me, was I ever awarded the state, and then all of a sudden the state came in, they had asked me, they were like, so they went and they investigated it, and then the social worker came back and she said, well, DFS has no record of you, so they're not going to do anything. And I'm like, well, why the hell would you even call DFS about me? I am 36 years old. Like, I was 5 years old and got out when I was 16. Like, what the hell does that have anything to do with today?
I agree.
And she's like, well, it's just the law here in Delaware. And she goes, and I said, well, first off, if you had any fucking common sense, I'm sorry, my language.
Well, yeah, no, we got to be careful. You are live on the stream, so we got to be careful what we say, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were doing the show. I'm sorry.
Yes, I am. I'm sharing your difficulty with the people listening, because, you know, what you're saying will help others, you know.
Yeah, so they had asked me that in the hospital, and I said to them, well, if you had any common sense, you would have asked me what state. You just looked up Delaware.
Right.
I wasn't awarded a state in Delaware.
Oh, well, that's where you live now.
Yeah, that's where I live. But I wasn't in the state custody in Delaware. When I was a child, I was in Pennsylvania. So, being that I was in Pennsylvania, they never checked Pennsylvania records. They just went in and looked under Delaware's records, and basically came back and told me that they have no record of me. So basically, called me a liar, and then tried to use my mental health and then my medications against me. Then when they couldn't use my mental health against me, because they tried to have me go down for emergency psych evaluation, but my psychiatrist said absolutely not. He put a freeze on that because he saw me right before I went in to deliver the day before, and I was fine. So my psychiatrist put a stop on that emergency psych eval. And he said, I do not authorize that. My patient was fine, and I can vouch for that, you know. And I followed everything that my psychiatrist said to go down safely on my medications, because the hospital was going to do it unsafely the way that they were talking about. They were about 1 milligram a week, which would have shocked my child. I already lost one in 2012 because they cold turkey did that to me with my meds.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm a drug addict because I'm on these meds.
Well,
they put me on them.
Yeah, I know they did, and that is wrong. That is so wrong.
And if I don't take them, then I'm not in compliance with my treatment or care plans. You know, as I'm an adult, and I should have the right to choose whether I see a psychiatrist or I see a therapist or not. I should have that right. I don't have anybody that should have authority over me. I'm an adult.
I agree.
But
I agree.
DFS thinks that they can have authority over me, period, and that's how it's going to be. And like my worker came in the other day and she said, "Oh, well, I'm just letting you know we have to close your case by August 1st." I'm saying no because I know the whole game. I've been going through it for the last 9 years of where they close my case and then they come back a couple weeks later or a month and a half later and they're knocking on my door with another bullcrap excuse of why they need to come in and investigate and open an investigation and why, and get me to sign off on all the documents. They want me to sign off and agree to the treatment plan, or they're, threatening they can remove my son, all that stuff. And it mentally messes me up to where my medicine goes striking right back up high doses. Right now, I'm on low doses,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But they cycle it to where I'm going constantly like a rapid cycler with my bipolar. You know what I mean? Where I'm having ups and then I'm down, and then you bring me right back up, and then I go down and I work real hard to get down, and then right back up because they knock on the door and they come and intrude my life, and it's like I want to get off the medicine because I feel I don't have all of these diagnoses that they have labeled me with my whole life. And I just want to see if my brain is chemically altered for good from these medicines, or is there a chance that I could become off of these medicines and not have these diagnoses? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Because I've just been told this my whole life. You understand? Like, this has been forced down my throat my whole life
Right.
since I've been a child. Is that
Right.
you've got bipolar, you're depression, you have anxiety, you have this, you have that, you're da-da-da. Everything is just a repetitive cycle over and over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
And it's 100% draining. It drains you.
For the people that are listening, I want to say this is Megan Wilson talking about her case. A real cap of her case is that she was in foster care all her youth, and they destroyed her and grew up in shelters. And so now she's had children of her own, and they've been nothing but mean to her and take away her children and keep her drugged up. One child. I'm sorry, Megan. And so she's been fighting her case, and so she's trying to talk to Vincent Davis. She has a 15-minute consultation with him, and they've been messed up with the time zone. Now we have Maria Fowers from Kansas, from Garden City, Kansas. She has a very terrible case, and she said she'll be able to call in shortly. Then we have the Brown Recluse. The Brown Recluse. What do you want to post in chat, please? I have no idea what you want me to post, Brown Recluse. But she is from Lexington, Kentucky, and she has a son that at 15 had 27 felonies of stealing cars. She has a very corrupt son. She punished him by taking his phone away, and then unfortunately, somehow they incarcerated him, but he's let out because he's a juvenile. He took away his ankle cuff, and now there was a slap on the wrist. The mother is now being charged with child support. It's really turned backwards. So I know all of you in here have horrible stories.
They tried to do that with me too.
Yeah, I know.
They tried to charge me with child support too when they took my son away at birth.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
ma'am. They spent the 2 months. I really feel that because I was like, how dare you try to make me pay you for stealing my kid? I mean, that's crazy how they can demand you to pay them for stealing your children.
Yeah, it is so
But
hard. It's really so hard. I um wish I had a magic wand that I can make everything go away. Now, um, I've been talking for about 30 minutes now, and we have 30 minutes left of the show. And I'm asked Brown Rick Hughes from Lexington, Kentucky. Please tell me what you want to post in chat. I have no idea what you have. Also, let me know when you want to call in, Maria Flowers, and you can talk about your case from Kansas City. And so far, that's who we have on here. My phone number's up 626-698-0990. Now, if you call in or you're a guest on my show, you get a free 15-minute private consultation on Zoom with Mr. Davis. And it would gladly help you with that. Gladly help you with that.
now, do you need me to hang up for her to call in?
Yeah, that would be great. Do you have Grace's
Okay.
Do you have Grace's email?
Yes.
Okay, then all you need to do is write her and tell her everything and reschedule it, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you, Megan. Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, for all you listeners, that was Megan. Okay. We're open for more phone calls, and I'm waiting for Brown from Lexington, Kentucky to tell me what you want me to post. And Maria Flowers, please call me. She's from Western Kansas, a city called Garden City, Kansas. And she has a terrible, terrible case. And I guess the CPS are not very professional. I want to hear more. I want to help you. Now, I've come up with 5 rules while we're waiting for Maria Flowers to call in. But I have 5 rules that will help others. The rule is to get an attorney, and I have one of the best attorneys that I work for is Vincent W. Davis. He's been practicing law for 39 years. He's fought CPS for 39 years, and he's professionally licensed and skilled in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the 3 areas of law that you have to really be dealing with. Now, sometimes it's called dependency court, sometimes it's called family court, depending on the state and the location. Now, he is also a trial attorney. And furthermore, he does civil lawsuits. So if your case is over, he can help sue CPS, and he's won millions of dollars, both fighting in state court and in federal court. So rule number 1 is you should get an attorney. Now, you're going to be tricked because the common thing among 2,000 people of you plus, including myself, we're low income. Now, one time I wasn't low income, but unfortunately I lost my job through no fault of my own. And when I lost my job, it was very hard because I was at an older period of my life. And they don't like to hire dinosaurs, especially dinosaurs involved in CPS. So I couldn't afford an attorney, but I did able to sell my forever home. And that is, okay, Dorothy. One, get an attorney. Thank you, Dorothy, for listening. She helps recap everything. Now, rule number 2 is to do documentation. You need that notebook, that 6-inch notebook with 3 rings, and organize it with tabs, subject tabs, and come up with the most important form of documentation. It is called, it's done on a timeline, and it's an incident form. Every incident you have with CPS or the police or the school or even the children or other parents or things, you should record the incident. All you need is 3 lines on a sheet of note paper. All you need is a line, and the first line, you put either the phone number if it's on the phone, or if you had it involved in person, then you list the location. Then you list the date and the time and the people involved. The second line is a summary of what took place, summary of the incident. The third line is the outcome. The third line is the outcome. And I really want you to put all your court documents in there, all your legal documents relating to the case. Now, rule 3 is we never talk to police or social workers. We do not let them in our home. Our drawbridge is up. The castle is closed. They don't have to come in. There's only 3 ways they can get in your home. 1, you give them permission, or someone else in the household gives permission. Do not let them in. You never know what's going to happen to you. People are killed by opening the door. I know of severe cases that have happened recently by someone just opening the door. So don't. 2, they can get in with a warrant, but that's something you got to be careful about. You have to be careful about the warrant. The warrant is a documentation that's issued by the court. It's got to be issued on the day that court's in proceeding. And it's got to be signed by a judge and then stamped so that the signature is raised. You got to make sure. And so that is a second way. The third way is if there's violence taking place, you hear the child crying, they'll bust in the door. Those are only 3 ways in. If you meet them outside, tell them this is a legal matter. You need representation. You're going to get your attorney. You'll meet with them later. Don't meet at the office. Don't meet in your home. Meet at some public place like the library or Starbucks or McDonald's. That way you can document everything. Make sure you record, videotape, and sound tape everything. And then you also got to not talk to them too much, because everything you say will be used against you. And then there's the thing called medical trafficking. You got to be careful about medical trafficking. They'll hear you. Now the social workers are working in hospitals and emergency rooms and even urgent care. So that's so important that you do there. Okay. Good morning and welcome to my live stream. This is Bob Pace. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
Hi, Bob. My name is Mary Flowers.
All right. Hi, Mary. And where are you from?
Garden City, Kansas.
Oh, okay. You're my person on my screen. So glad to meet you.
Yeah.
All right, Mary. You want to tell a story or ask a question?
Well, I don't even know where to start. Let's get started a year ago.
Well, you can start at the knock on your door. You can start with the knock on your door if they came out to investigate you.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't investigate me. I'm the one that called them because my daughter and the person she was in a relationship with is the father of these So I'm the one that involved them, but now I'm the one that's not trusted somehow. Because my daughter now is doing well. It took her a year to get away from him almost. This happened last May, 24. And now she is out of treatment. She's in sober living. She's doing really well. They're still trying to reintegrate the children back with mom. Dad is completely out of the picture now, thank goodness. But
was there domestic violence in the home?
Yes, domestic violence and drug use. The children, yes, even had meth levels in their hair follicles. So I was glad that I did it. And of course she was very angry with me, for a long time. But I'm glad I did it. I had to do it. It's a hard thing to turn your own children at, So I'm grandma. I'm the grandma here.
So these are your grandchildren. These are your grandchildren.
Yes, these are grandchildren. And so one of my older daughters is the one that stepped up and took the kids into her home, and she's got 4 of her own. So she's got her hands full, her and her husband. But I try to help out with them. So she basically gave me the little girl. She's 2 now. The last 11 months, because she was just overwhelmed. My daughter that has her on paper, so I guess on paper you would say she's the caregiver, her and her husband. And but they gave me the little girl for the last 11 months, and then the daughter that was the one that went to rehab, and then these are her children. She came home for just a few days to get different clothes, go back to her sober living home there, and in the meantime. Yes, the children did see their mom that weekend at my house. And because of that, now I'm the one that's not trusted in this situation, I guess. So St. Francis basically, didn't know that I had the little girl in my home. But it's just a big mess is what it is. And now I'm the one that's, I guess, not trusted.
You were trying to protect your grandchildren is what you were doing. What was wrong with your daughter? She just was on drugs all the time?
Well, technically she really wasn't. It was just something that she was in a very narcissistic relationship, and yes, there was drugs involved. And it took her a long time to get out of it. I mean, it took about 11 months for her to decide to go to treatment and get away from the person that she was with. But it's a very sad situation. He basically kept her almost like a hostage, wouldn't let her work, wouldn't let her leave the apartment. It was just a horrible situation, and those 3 little babies, lived in that situation.
And CPS didn't want to help, did they? They did not want to help.
Yeah, not at first. No, in fact, I would call the sheriff's department and ask them to do a wellness check in the home, and they would just drive out there and not actually go in the house and then my daughter would tell them, "Oh, my mom's just mad at me. That's why she's sending you out here," and then they would leave. This is Finney County Sheriff's Department in Garden State, Kansas. And at one point, after the 3rd phone call that I made, and it wasn't right in a row, but it was, in a short amount of time, they told me that I was harassing them. No, I'm trying to protect my grandchildren that are in that home. So it was a hard thing to do, and of course my daughter now thanks me, now that she's been through treatment and sees what happened. She's like, "Thank you for getting my kids out of the situation that we were all in." And she's doing really good. She's on a good path. She has a job. She's in sober living. She's getting her life together, and they're trying to reintegrate the children. But just some of the things that these ladies are doing is just not professional.
No, they're not. And that's the sad part. It's all about money. That's the sad part, because they get $20,000 per child per month from their county that pays them to take care of the child, supposedly.
Probably what.
And if there's special needs, they get another $15,000, and if they get adopted into foster care, they get another $35,000. It's a $1 trillion business.
Yeah, it's a big mess. Now, there's days I wish I hadn't involved them, but I had to get the kids out of that situation and my daughter. So it has actually helped all of them. I just hope that we can get them to be reintegrated back together, because she's doing well.
Yeah, these ladies here are just not. They're really not helping. And now that I've brought some things to their attention, it's like I'm the bad guy now. How did that happen? How am I the bad guy here?
Well, the problem is they don't believe in grandparents. They have a bad trouble with kingship, Some grandparents, my attorney, Vincent Davis, made a guide called the Grandparents Guide Step by Step in California of how to get guardianship of your grandchildren, because grandparents do have a right. And a lot of times they're ignored. I mean, it's bad enough with the parents being ignored and being used by social workers. Social workers think that families are the scum of the earth. Now, there are bad cases. There are true cases of abuse and neglect. Don't get me wrong. I know the horror stories.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, it almost seems like they reintegrate back the kids that shouldn't be, and then the ones that do need to be, they're working against almost.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just, a couple of ago, she's the family support worker. She told her supervisor that my daughter has not provided her job information, where she's living, the actual address.
Oh, they just, they always want to get. See, the sad part is every time they get information, they're going to record it and it come back to haunt you. They can reopen the case again. There's a lot of downsides about getting information. My recommendation is don't talk to them unless you have an attorney present. That's what you need to do. And most people don't. So a solution I'm telling people is to get legal insurance. Legal insurance will provide attorneys for legal matters. A lot of people don't think about that. They think about household insurance, car insurance, pet insurance, but they don't think about legal insurance. And legal is a premium. You got to pay a monthly premium, but it can't be that much. In fact, most of them I've been seeing are in $50 range per month. And so if you have a $50,000 attorney you need, that insurance will kick in. So look into it. And Progressive, who's my car insurance, does legal insurance. If you're an officer of a nonprofit organization, you need to have insurance for liability. You see, there's lots of reasons why you need the legal insurance. You can get stopped with a warrant that you forgot to promise to appear. I mean, I've heard stories from even a pastor of a church that as a young boy, he had a speeding ticket and he forgot about it, slipped behind his dresser. Of course, they send out a warrant and they don't do a very good job at tracking people down. Anyway, he got involved in a car accident at 21 and they wrote the ticket to the guy that hit him. But because he had an outstanding ticket, he was arrested, taken down in jail and everything. It was terrible. People don't understand about warrants. Warrants are bad things. So I'm trying to help people here learn as much as they can about their legal matters, much as you can.
Yeah, that's great.
And so what I'm doing here, what I'm doing here is that I deal with the worst kinds of cases. I had a mother from Africa, one of the provinces in South Africa. And she had her child in custody, and the child protection social workers took them for an outing, the children, because that's where they're at. And the outing was at a lake. Well, she turned her back on some of the children, and out of the water came a crocodile and dragged the child into the lake and ate them. And so this is the sadness that even in CPS's hands, you're not safe. You're not safe. Right. And so I know that even the social workers are very, very cocky, very rude. In fact, there's a story called the Pink Ladies that I tell all the time, that in 2022, the summer of 2022 in Prescott, Arizona, 8 social workers, all females, with over 35 years of social work, decided to buy pink T-shirts, and they weren't there to honor breast awareness. They were there to stencil on the front they're professional child kidnappers, and on the back they put, "Parents, do you know where your children?" What kind of message that sent out? That is horrible.
Yeah, that is horrible. Yeah, and that's what I'm finding now that I'm in this system. We've never had this system at all in our family, and now that I'm dealing with it, I'm just appalled at the things that they do and then don't do, or they twist things around against you. So yeah, I've asked for a meeting, to sit down, and they won't sit down with me because I'm grandma and I'm not anywhere on the paperwork. So.
You are. They passed a new law not too long ago that says that kinship is important and that grandparents are important.
Yes, we are, and that's the thing. I just don't understand how I'm the one that's in trouble here when, the other daughter that had kinship of the little ones, of my little ones, basically let her stay with me for 11 months, and then we had a little, my son-in-law just found out that my daughter had been here and saw her children outside of, the St. Francis office, and he got very upset with me and he took them away. So it's just been a mess. So I came clean. I told them, hey, I've had this little girl for 11 months, which they didn't know, which also means that they're not doing their job. If they didn't know that I had her, she was not actually in my daughter's home that she was supposed to be in. I don't know. And of course she was safe, I mean, oh my gosh, these are my grandchildren. I take very good care of them. I just want them to be safe and well taken care of. So.
Well, you're a good grandmother, and that is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, to stand, for me to make that phone call, but I had to for my grandchildren, even though it was against my daughter, I had to do it. And then, but now we've all resolved that, and she, like I said, now that she's been through treatment, she's a completely different person. She's back to her old self, and she thanked me, for what I've done and how far she's come. And so I'm glad we're on the right track. It's just that now these people are almost hindering. It just seems like they're not trying to reintegrate the children back with their mom.
Yeah.
Trying to keep me out of the picture when I'm just trying to help.
Well, I'm so glad you're helping your daughter. You're a good mother because you still take care of your daughter.
Yes, even though they're adults and they've made some bad choices, but we can help them get back on track. Yeah. Michael.
Yeah. So where you at on your case? So where you're at on your case? Where you at?
They have court again, I know, on July 14th.
And what's that court about?
They had a court date.
What's that about?
It's determine if she's going to be able to reintegrate with her children, or if they're going to do a permanency hearing to remove them.
That termination of parental rights. They shouldn't that good. The problem is you guys are probably using a court-appointed attorney, right?
Yes.
And that is the downside because the court-appointed attorney won't work for you.
I know. It's definitely, I understand that for sure. Yeah, I am going to have to look into getting, someone to represent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a hard thing, but one of the things you have to be careful about is getting the right attorney. There are 2 questions that you always ask an attorney if you want somebody for a CPS case. Question one is, are you a legal licensed juvenile law, family law, dependency law attorney who has gotten kids back from CPS? If the answer to that question is yes, the second question you should ask, is that Have you ever done a lawsuit after the case is closed and sued them either in federal court or in state court and won money back? If the answer is yes, then all you have left to do is ask one of your candidates. You need to find 3 of them, and you need to get 3 references and talk to each of the references about them before you spend your money, because it could be anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 retainer, depending on the complexity of the case or how long the case has been going on. Now, I have an attorney that meets all those requirements. His name is Vincent W. Davis, and he would gladly come out to Kansas, but there's some per diem that he's going to be on there, and the quote would be probably more than if you get one locally. And I'm not trying to downplay that, but he will come out to you. He has done other cases. Like I quoted Atlanta, Georgia. His retainer was $125K. And I know that a lot of people say, oh, that's a lot. But see, he doesn't keep licenses in every state. So one of the fees you have to pay is a license for that state. I don't know how much a license. It may be $1,000 or $2,000. But that's included there. Plus, he needs transportation to get there. He needs to fly there. He needs a car for ground transportation to get to the hotel and to the courthouse. He needs a place, accommodations, and he needs food. All that's calculated there, because if he's at home, he has transportation. He has a place he lives, and he has food he gets at the store. So with that being said, that's why it's more expensive than maybe local attorneys. But too many people have spent $15,000 on an attorney, and they lied to them. They lied to them. That's why you have to go through extensive research. You have to look at those references and do call at least 3 attorneys to compare them. Then you're going to meet with them and see if the chemistry is right. It doesn't finalize until you meet with them and develop, is this attorney really serious about me? Is he?
Right. Yeah, I understand that for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all good information. I was trying to write down, notes when you were talking about your notebook and the subject. Because that's where I'm at. I know I have to document everything with these people when we do talk to them. But I think I missed. I know the number 1 was the phone numbers and the date and time, and then you said the summary, and then the outcome.
Well, there's something, okay. What I was talking about is a timeline log of incidents. And a timeline log of incidents, you have to devote 3 lines on a notebook paper and then skip a couple lines and do the next one. Okay. And the first line is where you put the, if it's an incident on the phone, you put the phone number. Then you put the date and time and who was involved. And then if it's where they come to your door, you say meet at the house. Again, the date and time and
location, probably where we're at. Okay. Yes, because I'm to that point. I know I have to document everything, so I'm gonna do that. Make some bullet points, and then find an attorney.
Well, yeah, the attorney is number 1. Without that, it's not going to be there. Now, the second line is a summary of the incident, a 1-sentence summary. And then the third line is a summary. What was the outcome? If you don't have it, you can give it later. Okay.
All right, I'm going to get to work on that. I really do appreciate your time today, though, and it's really nice to know that there are people out there that can help.
Well, there's a lot of people. Right now, I have Dorothy Cook from North Carolina who's in my room. Hello, Tawa Ray. I have a new person. And she also helped Dorothy and Christina Noza. The room does help other people. Now, Tawa Ray, first-time listener, I appreciate this energetic work. Well, thank you. I have no idea where you're from. Tawa Ray, but please tell me where you're from. That'd be great. But I do have a lot of family here, uh, uh, Mari Flowers, and I would love you to
Yeah.
be my guest again and give me an update. Or
Yeah.
if you're lost and you need a question, come to my show and talk. I'm always open to having
Okay.
people ask questions.
Mhm.
I'm on twice a day for all my
Okay.
listeners out there. All right.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now. Thank
I'll
you.
see you. Bye bye.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, that was a very sweet person, a grandmother who's worried about her grandchildren. And her daughter, unfortunately, had a very domestic, violent relationship involving drugs and so forth. Anyway, her children are caught up with a very corrupt child protection system, and it's sad. It's sad. And so she expressed her concerns for all your grandparents out there. There is a book that you can get. It's called The Grandparents Guide, and it's $9.99. And okay, so that's the Grandparents Guide. I have right now 11 o'clock. That means my live stream has to end. And I want to thank all my people that have come into this room for help. I want to thank Mari Flowers that called in, and she's from Kansas, and she expressed her problems with her grandchild. I want to thank Brown Recuse from Lexington, Kentucky. I have no idea what you want me to post in chat. So maybe what Dorothy Cook is posting is she's helping out. That's good. Maybe that's what it is. Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. I'm so glad that you helped me in this room. That is so great that you took time to do that. Also, we have a new person, Takwa Ray. I have no idea. It sounds like you're from Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. There's Christina Reynosa in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'm glad you told me, and I'll try to remember you. And so come to my next show. I'm on at 7 o'clock tonight. I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you. And I will talk to you about my rules and about how you can help with your fighting CPS. I'm a fighter. I do not give up. I care about all of you. I will help you. I too was a victim. Now, I want you to still keep fighting. Do not give up. And it's much appreciated to have all of you here. I'm a caring, loving father and a husband. I have 42 years of marriage experience, and I have raised 6 children, helped raise 6 children. And unfortunately, I've lost one of my child through retaliation. And if you listen to my show, you know the reason why. Anyway, I'm still struggling. I am going to get out of the sand pit. I'm not going to give up. I'm here to help you. I do care. So hang on to your children. Keep fighting for your children. And there'll be a brief message from my attorney at the conclusion of my live stream. I'm going to sign off. God bless you and enjoy your afternoon, and see you at 7 p.m.
vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith in